Alright, welcome to the video. Some of the must-have resume and CV action verbs. At the end of this video, if you don't have these action verbs, you need to go back to your resume and add them on. So action verbs are verbs that describe action, including jump, play, sing, listen, walk, talk, and so on. But for a resume, we need a different type of action verb, and they look something like this that actually help to highlight different skills, experience, and knowledge. And I have a list of over 400 of them with a download link in the description. You don't need to sign up or anything. It's just on the Google Drive, and it's free, and it always will be. And in this video, I'm going to discuss the rationale behind why you need action verbs and tell you the three different categories, the critical categories of the must-have action verbs for your resume and CV, and I'll also share with you some usage. I'm Professor Job Offer, and I've spent the last 10 years with a number of Forbes Global 2000 companies and have helped people land interviews and jobs at companies like this, including Google and Amazon. And I'm here to share with you my tips and tricks on landing your next job offer. So let's dive right in. Why do you need action verbs? What helps to create impact? What do we mean by this? Well, the candidate hopefully will have various skills, experience, and knowledge that they want to highlight, and that'll be appropriate and suitable for the role they're applying for. And by not using the action verbs properly, you will be creating minimal impact by saying, oh, I participated in this, or helped with something, or I worked on. Well, those are very general terms, and it's really difficult to visualize what the candidate has actually done or what kind of skills and knowledge they actually have. But by using the action verbs properly, you can now help to create more impact by using words like coordinated. What did you coordinate? Executed some kind of project, enhanced an existing process, or resolved the conflict, and so on. So kind of going back to this, action verbs will help to create impact in what kind of skills, experience, and knowledge you have. So that's the first reason. And this helps to make the candidate stand out versus hundreds of other candidates applying for the same position. The second reason why you need action verbs on your resume is to help pass the ATS scan. And some of you might not be aware of what an ATS is, so quick lesson on an ATS. It stands for the Applicant Tracking System. Many different companies make it. It is an HR software used for recruiting and hiring, and it's usually the first hurdle that you have to get over in your hiring process. And it looks something like this. These are the dashboards. It helps HR managers organize the candidates and information and who's more appropriate and suitable or not. And it acts as a filter, not like one of these camera filters, but a filter that looks like this. And the dictionary definition of a filter is a device used to remove unwanted material. So let's apply this definition to what an ATS does. Is when the resumes come in, when the CVs come in, it passes through a device, the ATS in this case, to remove unwanted material, which is the candidates. So here's a little secret. You actually get grades based on how appropriate and how suitable your resume is and how well you highlight your skills and experiences for the role you're applying for, and only the top candidates will be invited in for an interview. And more specifically, you get actually grades based on the keywords. So if the job requires you to have something like marketing, as shown in this case, and depending on how the candidate has applied their skills, knowledge, and experiences in marketing, they get a ranking, and the higher ranking, more suitable candidates will be invited in for an interview. So it's a quick 1-minute lesson on that. I have a full video on what an ATS is and some of the HR secrets, so go take a look if you are interested. But that brings us to some of the must-have action verbs. There's 3 different categories, but before we dive into that, I have a question for you. Think of a job that doesn't require you to work with others, and it requires minimal communication, both written and verbal, and doesn't require an individual to be organized. There's a couple jobs out there. I thought of these 3, like pet sitting, transcriptionist. If you're not sure what that is, it's somebody that listens to audio files and just types it up into a document, and a driver. So in all of these jobs, you require very minimal communication, organization, perhaps even working with others. So if you're applying for one of these jobs, I'm sorry, but this video is going to be of very little value to you. But if you're applying for, anything else, I'm going to have tips on that. So on that note, if you can think of any other job that doesn't require an individual to communicate actively, be organized, or work with others, just comment below. I'd like to know, actually. But for 99% of other jobs, you must have these action verbs because they are required skills or experience or knowledge on the job. So let's take a look. First and foremost, communication skills. Okay, I'm talking about both written and verbal, and we're looking for action verbs related to communication that helps to highlight your skills, experience, knowledge in you're both written in verbal communication. So what do we mean by these? Well, here's a couple samples. So verbs like communicate or debate, engage, response, or summarize. So these verbs help to highlight how you have certain skills or experience with communicating with others. Okay. Secondly, organization. Action verbs related to organization. So I'm talking about verbs that help to highlight some of the tasks that you've had or responsibilities and projects in your previous work experience. Same thing here, always going back to the skills, experience, and knowledge. So what kind of action verbs can we use to highlight your skills, experience, and knowledge in organization? Oh, here's a few, and there's a whole list of them as well. So organize, that's an action verb. To coordinate something or establish, prepare, and systemize, these are all action verbs related to organization. Here's the third and final one. If you don't have these, you have to go back to your resume and edit it or add them on. So something related to teamwork, because 99% of other jobs out there, you're going to be working in a team, collaborating with others, whether it's within the same company or with somebody from another company or department. So same thing here. What kind of verbs are there that can help to highlight some of the tasks or projects and accomplishments that you've achieved as a team before? And going back to this, skills and experience, knowledge from related to teamwork, verbs that are related to that. So what's out there? Well, cooperate, collaborate, or to persuade, or to represent something, and so on. So these are the three categories. This is essentially what you wanted to know, right? 99% of other jobs are going to require you to have all these three skills and experiences: communication, organization, and teamwork. And as mentioned previously, if you're wondering about list of like 400 plus action verbs out there, there is a download link in the description. It's just a Google Drive one. You don't need to log in or anything. It's free and always will be, so you can refer to that. Let's take a look at examples of its usage. I have two examples. The first one here, as a volunteer coordinator at Help Seattle. It's just a hypothetical position that I kind of made up. So let's see if you can highlight some of the action verbs related to communication, organization, and teamwork. Well, there's all of these. Feel free to pause the video and take a look. I'm not going to read through the whole thing. Second example, say an associate or a merchandiser at Walmart. So same thing here. You can see right off the bat some of the action verbs related to teamwork, to organization, and communication as well, because any job that you take is going to require you to have those skills and experiences. On that note, did you know that Walmart's store managers make an average of like 175 grand a year in the US? And well, if you have any experience working at Walmart or any other retail stores like Costco, Target, I have a video that actually helped you to write literally line by line and tell you what to put on each line of your resume, so you can have a very well stacked and detailed resume like this. So in today's video, we took a look at the must-have resume and CV action verbs, and here's a quick recap. I talked about why you need action verbs, two rationales on it. It helps to create impact in regards to your skills, experience, and knowledge, and also helps to pass the applicant tracking system scan. And then we went on to talk about the three different categories of must-have action verbs, which included verbs related to communication, organization, and teamwork. And lastly, I showed you some examples of its usage. So now that you know what kind of action verbs you need to really understand how to use that on your resume. And this is where I take you through. To explain how to use different action verbs in which scenario, using numerical values to prepare bullet points like this. So your resume is how should we say? So your resume is more presentable, and it stands out amongst other candidates. And well, there's a couple other videos on how to optimize your resume, and based on what kind of keywords a job posting is, what kind of information the job posting has, so that you can get a higher score on the ATS. And there's a whole video on that. It's been pretty popular. So you get interviews at companies like this with an example. It's a two-part series. But yeah, well, that's it for today. I'm Professor Job Offer, and I'm out. Thanks for watching.